back to the program. Also, welcome back to the program. Good friend of ours, cartoonist Brian Duffy is here as we are able to witness how he creates various things.
Yes.
Yes.
And at this point, I mean, the idea that I'm going to be drawing, and this will kind of give you an idea how things happen, is that I don't know when or where that the inspiration strikes. Sometimes out of nowhere, sometimes a word is said, sometimes it's a couple of paragraphs, but I came up with this idea coming over here, so I'm going to hope that it works.
All right. Just run it through its paces.
Here we go.
So now,
so what did you hear, or what thought went to your head that created
it was
this idea?
a discussion. It was a little more of a discussion on the election in Michigan, and which was a surprise to the Democratic side, of course. It was a surprise to a lot of people that Bernie Sanders, who had been, I think about 20 points behind on the polls, all of a sudden came up out of nowhere and beat Hillary Clinton on her way to her
so that was one
coronation.
of the big political nerd stories, is that the polling was so far off up there.
You know, I don't think that people are really, the pollsters, things are changing so quickly that I don't think that their models are working as well as they would like them to, and I think the biggest reason is that people are making their minds up at the last minute. So,
I think I also read that in Flint, Michigan, they were running out of
ballots
because
right.
so many people were showing up this year.
Exactly. So it's really telling you something, that this is not a normal political year, and nobody knows really what's going to happen, what's going on. I mean, the establishment and both sides, I'd have to say, are more than stunned at what's going on.
So you've been doing this a long time. Is this the nuttiest election you've ever seen?
Yes. Yeah, I've been covering the presidential races since 1984 here in Iowa, and I've never seen anything like this. You've seen so many of the establishment candidates disappear, and I don't think that a majority of the parties, state parties, figured that this type of thing was going to happen. I mean, I think it's stunning for everybody.
Do you think Bernie can beat Hillary?
No, not long term. You know, he might be able to do something. I'm going to say that he might be able to do something in Ohio too, because you've got people there that have lost jobs and are now working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet, and those industries are gone, and they blame NAFTA, which is Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
By relationship, you can
say that would just tie right into Hillary then. Yeah.
Exactly. And so my idea was,
okay,
we're going to consider Michigan as obviously it's Detroit, but Michigan as the motor capital.
Right.
So why not have a car driving away with Hillary standing there wondering where, what happened, where it's going without her.
Right.
And, if you're going to have a back view of a car,
you might as well have Bernie in it.
Well, yeah, you can put Bernie in it.
I love it when you draw Bernie.
You like Bernie, huh?
I like him. Well, I like his hair.
It's his hair.
So well.
And that's what cartoonists do. They love to look at things like the hair and do things like that and put him on there, put his hair there. But in this case, and I can put Bernie in there.
I read on Twitter, by the way, the other day, Brian, that Bernie Sanders both looks like and needs a tailor.
Well, also there was some discussion about what color was his suit last night on the debate. And I'm thinking,
oh no, not one of the dress things. No, really.
Gray, blue, maybe? I don't know.
So
most of us didn't even know there was a debate last night.
I had no idea.
I think people are getting tired of them.
Yeah, it was news to me.
Really often, all of a sudden.
So the last part of it, as a tie-in, is going to be a bumper sticker.
Uh-oh. Ooh, yeah.
And of course. Stickers. And what kind of works very good is
I break for
Bernie. And obviously by extension, not Hillary. So that's what's going to be probably my cartoon for today. I'll finish it up, and people can see it either on my website, Brian Duffy Cartoons. We can post it here,
Yep,
Right.
we'll do that too.
or else on Twitter.
So assuming Bernie doesn't win, and a lot of people love him, and,
Right.
and you know, I'm a conservative, and I like him better than her, obviously, but what has he done? What has he accomplished, do you think, when all this is wrapped up?
By staying in the battle so long, is that
Yeah, I
what you
mean,
mean?
what we look back on Bernie Sanders, what are we going to say, you know?
Who knows? I mean, that's the thing, is that if you go way back in time, you would say that, you know, back in 1964, Barry Goldwater destroyed the Republican Party. Well, he really didn't. And we're saying the same thing again on the Republican side now.
Right.
But I think that he is going to, in the short term, drag Hillary to, well, we call it the left. But really, it's, you know, what we're looking at is we're looking at people, so many of them, that don't have the opportunity, again, to move where they, you know, they'd had something up until about, what, 2005 on to 2009, and then it's gone. And what they're doing now is attempting to replace it with bits and pieces of jobs that they can pick up, part-time jobs, that's never going to come close to what they made in the past. And so they're very frustrated, and they're looking for outlets. And he's one of them, and Donald Trump is the other.
I heard someone say that, you know, obviously on both sides, people are just fed up, and that's why we're seeing all these crazy things happening this year. But
Yes.
let's say Hillary gets elected, you're going to have all kinds of angry people in 2020 because, again, an establishment person got put in the White House.
Unless somebody is going to finally start to listen and be able to take some action, I have a feeling that a lot of this legislation for free trade is going to be there's going to be some difficult years coming up ahead, because people are looking at it and saying, you know, fine, you can do that same job in India for, you know, an eighth of what you're paying somebody here, but is it fair? I can't afford to make a living anymore. I can't afford the things that I used to. So it's going to, I think we're coming to a point where it's going to come to a head.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on that too. Well done, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you
Thank
create.
you.
I love the
Thank
creative
you.
process, man.
Thank you very
That
much.
is so neat. We'll be right back.
I